You're listening to the Talking 20 podcast. This podcast is for you if you're in your 20s and you're thinking, what the hell am I doing? We've all been there, and we want to talk about it. We're your hosts, Bridget O'Rourke and Mary Margaret Courtney, and we sit down with fellow millennials to chat about their journey and hear what they've learned along the way. Let's get started. Welcome back to another episode of the Talking 20 podcast. Bridget and Mary here, as always. And before we start this chat off, I want to mention that Instagram has changed yet again. Did you notice, Mary? So, well, you do from last time we did our pre-episode chat. So they got rid of IGTV, which means that we can't post anything that's more than 15 minutes long.
Oh, okay. So let's keep it under 15.
No, we're not going to keep it under 15 because that's not possible between us. So, so what we're going to do is if you're watching on Instagram, it's going to cut out after 15 minutes. You can head over to our Facebook page and watch the rest of it there, or you can listen to it on your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, all the other ones, yes. So head over there to watch the whole thing. No, we're not going to do that.
It's not possible.
It's like, that's not going to work. We have too much to talk about.
That's amazing.
Yes, and then another very important note that I want to note before we start, Mary. Did Matt ever finish the marathon?
Yes! For anyone who listened to our last pre-release chat, Bridget cut me off as per usual, right at the point where I would have told you whether or not Matt finished the marathon. Yes, he finished the race at 4 hours and 14 minutes, which is insane.
Wow. Is that what he wanted to, did he have a goal? Was that his goal, or?
Okay, the long and the short of it, no. His goal was to be sub 4, so sub 4 hours. Now, he trained in Caledon and in Orangeville, and he ran the race in PEI. So it's not the same. The wind is different. The ground terrain, whatever you call it, is different. It's a different course all around. The day they ran it, there was rain. There was really, really bad wind. And there was some rough patches that were just hard to run on. They had to run on grass at certain points and stuff.
A marathon in and of itself is hard. You're gonna throw in all the weather.
Yeah, but everyone seemed to run a little bit roughly 20 minutes off their mark from what I heard. So okay. I still think it's amazing, for his first race. He claims he's not a runner, he doesn't have a quote-unquote runner's body. So to train, to do marathon training, to even just go and do it, I still think is outstanding. And 4 hours and 14 minutes is pretty freaking phenomenal, if you ask me.
Just the fact that he could run for 4 hours and 14 minutes, even just thinking about that makes me want to vomit.
I can't do it. I can't.
Yeah, I can't. I just wouldn't do it. I would probably collapse and die.
Yeah.
But anyway, good for Matt. That's awesome. What an achievement.
Yeah, and he did, I don't know what it's called, there's a term for it, but at the very end he saw, it was 14 minutes and 52 seconds, and he was like, fuck you, you're not, he was like, I'm not going to hit 15 minutes. And he sprinted after running for over 4 hours.
Wow.
He just, and there's I got a cool video of it, he's just books it. I was like, the hell did that come from? Yeah.
You didn't even have time to think about going and joining him on the
No,
thing.
No. I couldn't.
And for people listening, the reason I cut Mary off right before was obviously because I wanted none of you to know if Matt was going to win. No, it's because I have a meeting for my actual job at 10 o'clock a.m., so we usually do these pre-episode chats at 9, and it was 9:59, and Mary hadn't gotten to I don't think he'd even come around the corner yet where Mary could see him, and I was like, I gotta go.
That's amazing.
So, now you know. You waited 2 weeks to find out.
All good.
So let's talk about our guest next week. We have both listened to the episode, the unedited episode, and I'm really stoked about it. How are you feeling?
Really good. Good and nervous because at the end of the episode, which I don't know if we want to leave as cliffhanger, but we make a promise to do something that...
yes.
I'm nervous about the public commitment, but...
Yeah, I heard that and I was like, that was ballsy of us.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, here we go.
So our guest next week is Spencer Barlow, also known as the Shift Work Athlete. We're so excited to have him on. He does a podcast called The Shift Work Athlete, which is essentially people who are working, like he interviews people who are working shift work and how they stay healthy and how they keep their body going throughout that time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super
really
exciting.
good. He was one of our first interviews. I would say we kind of like immediately broke away from any plan that we had.
Mm-hmm.
We had a great plan, a lot of good questions for him. We want to talk a lot about health and fitness, which we do get into. But we started right off the hop, just all of us connecting and bonding, and we went off on that. And it's just like, it's really cool. Like, it's fully just a look into a conversation with the three of us versus less of like any plan. Like, none of those questions were planned at the beginning. We were just like, oh my God, we need to get into this.
I think we got 45 minutes in and then we were like, okay, so we haven't asked any of our questions yet.
Yeah.
But which is great, and I love being able to do that. Obviously, it's a pain in the ass when it comes to editing because it's like, I want to keep it all in, but what do we do? So we don't know if we're going to split up the episode or if we leave it and leave it for, a 2-hour episode. We're not sure. We're trying to figure all that kind of stuff out. But the topic that we're talking about, which is very relevant to these pre-episode chats, I would say, is ADHD.
That's us.
Yes. So it's all three of us talking about our ADHD and how we've all handled it differently, and it comes from 3 different perspectives, which is cool. We talk a lot about medication. We talk about how Spencer was on medication until high school, decided to actively decide to go off medication. Mary went on medication for a little bit in high school. It didn't work for her, so went off it. I've been on medication my whole life, so we all kind of had these different perspectives of it, which was so much fun to talk about.
Yeah, and we talked about, our relationship with our parents and having to decide this at the time and the stigmas that go along with it. All of our experiences in elementary school and high school with teachers, with education, our self-esteem, why we're where we are today. There's so much to it. And, he talks a lot about he's grateful for the conversation we had because it isn't something that's often talked about. And when it is, there's a lot of shame built with it. So for the 3 of us just to be able to like shoot the shit and like get into some really intense conversations that really formed all 3 of us, and especially for Spencer, like you see how hard that man works and the results, and it's incredible. And I don't think his teachers would have bet on him in high school to be that guy. Yeah. And so it's just it's a really great story. And obviously you and I with our stories were like, oh my God, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, and I love that we released it. This wasn't planned, but we're releasing it after the episode where with your teacher that, helped you thrive, even though you had ADHD and you wanted to reach all of these goals, but other people were holding you down. Like, we're releasing it right after that episode, so it's a good contrast.
Yeah, and for everyone, just put a little pin in it. I talk about a teacher, a writer's craft teacher, and that's Frank Adriano, who we interviewed last week. And as I listened to it, I was like, oh, that's too funny. So everyone will know who we're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect. I'm trying to look here to see what else we want. Oh, he gets super... You can tell that Spencer is a very introspective person. Like, he's been through a lot, but it's like he thinks about... I think he sits down and thinks about every action he takes for 3 days. And then comes back and is like... Here, like he has all of the knowledge, all of the information.
Yeah, he's distilled it down to make sense for him and to use it as a tool to move forward, which, as we talk about, is like a thing that anyone with a big learning disability that really struggles in school as a child, socially, any of that, you have to learn to do that for yourself, or else you don't have a lot of support around you. And if you have a good family, that's great, but you have to find ways to cope. And so clearly for him, he's come up with this amazing tool, and also has made him like a really good coach. Like by the end, I was like, I want that guy to be my trainer. Like he's learned how to like give those tools to other people.
It's great because at the beginning of the episode, he's like very vulnerable. He opens up about a lot of stuff, and Spencer, I know Spencer because he was a coach at F45 where I was going, so I've known the, fitness motivational side of him. So I see this opening up perspective of him, but then we get into the fitness stuff and he turns full on coach mode. Like the most motivation ever. I'm trying to think of a quote he said, but I can't think of one off the top of my head. Can you think of one?
No.
Where he's yelling at us about he's like motivating us to the point where Mary and I agreed to do something.
Yeah, which we'll wait for people to listen. No, I want people to listen next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. We have
some fun collabs coming up with Spencer.
Yes, we're nervous and excited, but Spencer is going to help us. And
he's going to kick our butts.
He's going to kick our ass. I'm so nervous.
But it's going to be so much fun. And another thing that he gets into that is so relatable is financial issues. Like, he got himself into a big financial rut that he had to figure out how to get himself out of, and he opens up about it, and it's something that a lot of people would put in the past, keep in the past, don't want to talk about it, but he wants to use his experiences to teach other people to do how to properly manage money and do things in general.
Yeah, he was in such a bad spot and we'll let the episode speak for itself, but he ends up on a TV show helping
It's not Squid Game.
It's not. No, which also I want nothing to do with that show. Nothing.
I was listening to the episode and I'm like, if he didn't say the name of the TV show that he was in, I would think it's Squid Game.
Yeah. Except death isn't an option.
Yeah.
That's the show you're talking about, right? This new...
Yeah, but it's not an option. It just happens.
It just happens. You're yeah, I can't watch this show. But yeah, so he ends up on this like reality TV show and he was picked because it was like, yeah, you're a disaster and you got to get your shit together. And it worked for him.
And it worked. He has his shit together now, like big time.
Yeah. So he was really cool. We're excited. He has his own podcast as well. Mm-hmm. So it was fun to talk to a fellow podcaster. And and anyone that listens to the episode for sure needs to check him out because he knows what he's talking about.
And he has some fun stuff planned with his podcast. He and I shoot the shit about the podcast all the time. It actually happened like at the same time we both started thinking about doing a podcast and learning about how to do a podcast at the same time. So we've been like back and forth throughout this whole thing. So it was so much fun to talk to him. We're excited to collab with him on literally anything. He's just like such a fun human being and so creative and inspirational and motivational. Yeah. It's a good episode.
And I'm really excited we didn't get to he didn't get too in depth about some of his story, but I want people to really listen to the amount of hurdles this man had in his life. Mm-hmm. The amount of struggle, and he chose to go into the military because he felt like he didn't have structure in his life as a child and teenager. He chose to go off medication because of what it was doing to his personality and his mind. Like, you talk about introspection, he's naturally that way as a person, but man, life has thrown a lot at that guy that could have taken him down way worse paths, and he wants it so badly. He wants his quality of life, and he wants to share his quality of life and give it to other people, and I just admire that.
He constantly wants to improve himself as well. Like, he's always looking for the next step, okay, and then when he gets there, he's trying to improve himself even more. Like, he's constantly looking at the next step.
Yeah.
Just trying to think of some inspirational word there, but that's all I got.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, and his ability to, like, we were talking about how, like, when people correct us, because that's, like, a normal thing, that for me and for him, we both struggle with, like, words and spelling. And even that, like, I was like, yeah.
AKA dyslexia.
Dyslexia, yeah. Which he doesn't say he has, but...
I think he does. Doesn't he?
No,
Maybe he doesn't.
I think what he knows is that he's diagnosed with ADHD, but I asked about dyslexia, and he said, all of it. I got all of it.
Okay, so we don't really know.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if he had some form of dyslexia. There are different types, but also things can be, like, misdiagnosed and it can look like it's dyslexia, but it's not, right? Like, if he had the ability to pay attention and really focus, his brain might just slow down and read the words properly. For Mary, for me, dyslexia, it's not it's not my attention deficit that causes it. It is literal just confusion all up in there. It just doesn't.
It's just a hot mess.
Yeah, the information doesn't go in correctly. Which, whatever, I'm fine. I love myself. But,
fine.
But anyway,
I'm fine. Nobody worry about me. I'm okay.
Yeah, not a pity party. But he is able to, like, I was like, yeah, don't you hate that when people correct you? Like, it pisses me off. And he's like, no, I love it. Like, they have my back. And I'm like, of course you're so fucking positive about this. And I was like, yeah, just me. Okay, cool. Yeah, and I was like, thank you for that perspective. You're right. I could do better at not letting that get to me. And he's like, yeah, no,
yeah, you
awesome.
were hoping that he was going to be like, yeah, and you guys would just, like, fight to the death about this.
Bond
like, I
over
fucking
it.
hate it.
Yeah,
no.
He's like, no, it's great.
Mary.
And I was just like, yeah, okay.
That just means I'm going to better myself.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just want to be mad. I want to be mad about it, okay?
Yeah, but it's a great episode. Definitely listen. Is there anything else you want to talk about the episode?
No. I there's so much that we could talk about and break it down, but I just want people to go listen to it, and I want to, like, let it speak for itself because it's so good. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Now, let's move on and talk about, what do you want to talk about?
Our mugs.
I was going to give our moms?
Well, sure, I love so. Everyone knows we love talking about our moms. Our mugs. Mugs.
You mean our bugs?
You mean
Mary sent me an email of just a bunch of word vomit so that I could know what she's thinking, and it said, "Tell people about our bugs." And I think she meant mugs.
See, and
We've got bugs for sale.
Spencer has taught me to not be angry at you for correcting that mistake.
It's just so funny. Anyway, yes, our mugs.
Our mugs.
Tell people about our mugs.
So
you know more about our mugs than I do.
Yeah, well, we have mugs for sale.
And you should buy them.
Buy them. So yeah, we got mugs made. They're awesome. They're giant, and not the one Bridget's drinking out of right now, though.
This is the vintage Talking 20 mug.
That's the vintage mug. And for anyone asking, potentially maybe those might become for sale, but we have better ones because they're bigger and they're better and they have our full logo on them. And yeah, so they're for sale. They're for sale as anyone who wants to support us. Really, truly, guys, we just need to make money on this. Like, yeah, we want to give people our mugs, but, like, we need to make the podcast start making money. And so we're starting with mugs. I'm just going to be real with you. So
it's true. So if you like the podcast, you want to support us, get a fun little thing in return, this would be a wonderful way for you guys to do it. Great Christmas presents for your mom. You can hand it to them. She'll be like, "What's Talking 20 podcast? I should go check that out."
Yeah.
And then she won't because she doesn't know how to use Spotify.
It's a perfect gift. You just type up the instructions on how to subscribe, and then you tell them what episodes to listen to. You put it in the mug. You wrap it up. It's the perfect Christmas gift.
Exactly. I can't think of a better Christmas gift for your mom.
Literally nothing. Or your mom.
Or my mom.
Yeah. You know what?
I didn't mean your mom. I meant anybody's mom who is listening.
Oh, the overall.
Also my mom and your mom. Oh, it's going to be a stocking stuffer, for sure.
Sure, everyone. And, if you are like, well, this is kind of silly, like, it's not really a good Christmas gift, you're giving back, Come on.
You're supporting a small business.
Yes. Feed the world, make it a better place. Our podcast.
Thirst the world. Drink the world.
Drink the world. Oh
Drink
yeah,
the world.
I was doing the Michael Jackson lyrics. Feed the world, make it a better place. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
It's like a charity song for third world countries, not for Mary and Bridget's.
It's super relatable. What are you talking about? No, it's not. But anyway, yes, we have a lot of other plans for... We have a lot of other plans for, like, merch and fun things in the future. This is just the starting point for us. And let's talk about who made them.
Yes. So our dear friend Kate Ackman, she owns a company called Moments in a Box. Moments in a Box does, like, personalized stuff for families. She has a lot of stuff in the mom community. So, like, kids will, like, do their artwork and then they can get it printed on, like, a bag or a mug. And she does, like, incredible stuff. She does, like, the fun, witty stuff you see on Etsy. But she's growing. She's getting bigger. People love her stuff. So she started growing into the corporate world and she's doing stuff for companies. So, she is our go-to. She's been my go-to for years. And so, yeah, she offered to make these mugs for us. And of course, she came through and they're awesome. We also got keychains, which Bridget hasn't seen yet. So I'm going to give her
I haven't seen either of them.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you've seen a picture.
Yeah, that's true. I've seen a picture of the keychain as well. But
yeah.
Yeah, they're great. They're great.
They're fantastic. They're $25. Basically, these mugs, we're doing a pre-sale. So if anyone wants to buy one, you can buy it through Facebook, Instagram, or send it to our email. Or text Bridget or I if you have our numbers, because most of the people listening have our cell phone numbers. And for the ones living far away, hit us up online. Our website will be up at some point, so we should be able to buy them through there.
Eventually, our website will be up.
One day.
Yes. Soon. It's getting there.
And yeah, they're $25, and we'll ship them to you guys as long as you're not super far away. And that would be great. We could
ship them to Africa. That's fine.
7 times.
We do have a couple listeners in Kenya that might want one.
That's true. But if someone from Kenya wants the mug, I will give it to you for free and send it to Kenya because that's just cool.
Yeah. As long as you take a picture in front of something Kenya-esque in the background and with the mug.
Kenya-esque.
Done. Anybody from Kenya, hit us up.
We just need a selfie to prove you're real.
Yes. And then also this weekend, we're going to be filming some promo for them, which I'm super excited about. It's going to be very random and just like Bridget and Mary fashion. Makes no sense, but it makes us laugh. Yeah. It is going to be a lot of fun. So it's going to be a good day.
Bridget and Mary in their late 20s trying to pretend like we understand how the internet works, which if anything has taught me, Talking 20 has taught me, I'm too old for trends. TikTok, even Instagram. And that was why I was like, why can't I get these videos up? Why is it that when I try to post a video, it needs to be a reel? It just all changed, and I didn't even think that Instagram changed again.
But didn't I text you? Didn't I send it to you and said Instagram changed? It has to be under 15 minutes long. Can you?
I may have blocked it out because I was mad. Oh no, yeah, I did that. I remember now.
Yeah, that happened. But yeah. Another thing I wanted to talk about, Mary, was what I wanted to talk about this last week or 2 weeks ago, but I didn't get a chance. Your charcuterie boards. Mary gave me a charcuterie board that somebody canceled last minute. If you're listening, don't do that to her. That really sucks. Yeah. Not the person who did. Well, I mean, it sucks from that. Well, also, yeah, too, by chance, in general.
By chance, if that person's listening, you know who you are, and we're pretty sure that they used a very inappropriate excuse that should not be used, and that's offensive. And we're a small business trying to grow, so be nice.
Yes. However, Bridget did get the charcuterie board. That was made. So I'm happy about it. And I just want to say, like, that was the most amazing. And I'm not just saying this because, like, you're my friend and I'm on board with this project. It was genuinely one of the most amazing meals I've ever had. There was this, like, yellow, like, marmalade almost. It was like, oh, my God, it was so good. There was, like, so many different cheeses. It was supposed to be for 4 people. You said it was for 4 people. It probably could have fed 8 people. My roommate and I ate it in a night. It was so good.
That's the point.
So many different things.
I like hearing the feedback on it because some people like forget how expensive cheese is. So when they see the cost of the board, they're like, ugh. But the point is, it could be a meal, right? Like you didn't have to have dinner. Yeah, it's a meal.
Yeah.
But in people's minds, it's like an app. And it's like, no. You end up eating the full board and you don't want dinner after that. That's why they're as big and hearty as they are. Yeah.
Yeah. And you have some fun do you want to talk about your other plans that you have coming up?
Yeah. So the charcuterie stuff obviously took off. It's been going well. I have had a nonstop of orders. They just keep rolling in, which is awesome. And we're looking to expand a little bit. So I brought in a baker friend, my friend Laura, who I've
danger. Honestly, dangerous. This is very dangerous.
And yeah, seriously. And so I've invested in some equipment to make this more manageable, to do it on a larger scale. And my friend Laura, who I've worked with in the past, she's gone to culinary school to be a baker. She's done coffee college. Her and I have always said if we open up a coffee shop together that we will be she'll be the baker and I'll be the coffee person. And so she wants to be a part of it. And so yesterday we sat down and we broke it down. We did all the numbers. I saw her menu of what she wants to do.
Oh, I haven't even seen it yet, but I just know.
It's not like, she's going to be like gingerbread cookies and the really obvious stuff, but then there's like elite dessert. I don't know how else to call it. It's like nice dessert. Oh, it's so good. So yeah, there'll be like all these options for different boards. You can get like a small mini board, you know, just as like you're going to a Christmas party and you want to bring some treats. But then there's going to be some like delicious yum-yums if you are not a baker or you don't want to bake, but you want some fancy desserts. Oh my God, I'm so excited. So yeah, we're going to be selling our charcuterie boards and also the dessert boards. Originally we were calling them dessert charcuterie, but the logical part of my brain is like, that's just so dumb because it's not charcuterie anymore. But it's under the charcuterie family now. We have dessert platters. And
amazing.
Yeah, those are going to be readily available in the next few weeks.
Yeah, and if any of y'all want to cancel right before you're supposed to pick up, feel free. Just kidding.
Like, I will happily grab it. It was perfect.
Take one for the team.
Literally on your way out of town, and you were like, sure, I'll pick this up. And Matt also made some pre-made cocktails for you.
Yeah. I came and had a date night with my roommate. She was so excited. We were like, well, we're having a cocktail and charcuterie night, don't you know?
Yeah.
It was great. I seatbelted in the charcuterie board in my car.
Make sure it stays safe.
It was perfect. It was nice and safe. Yeah, well, tomorrow we're going to, Mary and I are getting together. Like I said, we're going to do some mug promo, but we're also going to be doing promo for the Christmas boards and the dessert boards, which is going to be super exciting. And I haven't eaten in 3 days because I know I'm probably going to eat a lot. I'm just kidding. I've eaten a lot the past 3 days. But I do know whenever I come to take pictures of your food, it's a day. So anyway, we're super excited about it. Stay tuned. Follow collectivecreations.events on Instagram. Follow Cocktails and Charcuterie on Instagram. Follow Talking 20 Podcast on Instagram. And you'll be updated on all of our multiple shenanigans. Oh, this was another thing about Spencer's episode, ADHD brain, was that all of us have had so many different jobs and we do so many different things. And I think that's because we all have ADHD and we're like, I just want to, I want to do a bit of this and a bit of this and a bit of this. And it shows up in the company that Mary and I are creating.
And as Frank Adriano said, it's the better way to go. He believes that that's what everyone should do. So we're just going to keep running with it. We're going to trust
him. Just do a little bit of everything that you love and you'll be happy.
Yep.
Hopefully, if it makes money.
And you'll be happy. Well, maybe. No, you'll be happy, but also it's like, it's throwing darts at the board to see if one sticks. It's doing what we love, but building on it. Everything looks like it's a lot right now, but you and I have plans for the next 10 years, and it does all fit under the same umbrella. Whether other people see that or not yet, that's none of our business, because it's our business.
Yes. And anybody who's run a business will look at all of these things and be like, oh, I see how they all fit together.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's great. Let's wrap her up. 27 minutes. Pretty good. 15 minutes ago, you probably got cut off on Instagram. So
welcome to Facebook.
Thank you for coming back. Welcome to Facebook. All right. Well, have a great day and stay tuned for Spencer's episode next week. Coming out on Friday, maybe earlier than that. We're not sure. Might be in 2 episodes, might be in 1 episode. Probably should have figured that out before we jumped on this, but whatever. So Spencer's episode will be coming out at some point next week. So make sure to follow us, Talking 20 Podcast. Make sure to follow Spencer, the shift work athlete, and stay tuned.
Bye. Listen to us, please.
Bye.